We're on a brand new devotional series called The Days of Discontent. And we've just come out of a season of Thanksgiving and giving, the happiest time of the year, the time of merriment and joy, and I'm betting that many of us still feel discontented. It would stand to reason that after finding so much to be thankful for and after receiving gifts from the list that we've made, that we would be content, at least for a while. However, I've never seen such a discontented world. Even though the Bible has lots to say about this subject and encourages us to be content. So we're going to look at what causes us to be discontented, and we're going to move toward contentment in this new year. My husband is a contented person 95% of the time, and I'm probably discontented a big percentage of the time, unless things are in order, which they aren't, well, because of life, and so we make a pretty good combo. So come with me on this new year as we focus on what causes our days of discontent and we move toward contentment. Sounds like a good path to start on. We're going to go back to Genesis, looking at Jacob and Esau, and we know about their story of how Jacob literally took Esau's birthright through deceit. But what's interesting is the verse that describes Jacob before that ever happens. These two sons are sons of Isaac, and Genesis 25:27 says they grew up and Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the open country, while Jacob was content to stay at home among the tents. So one brother goes out to hunt while the other one's more of a homebody, and content, it says. So by definition, being content means to be satisfied. But then something took place, and that contentment turned into discontent, because when Jacob's brother came in from the field and was hungry and asked Jacob for something to eat, Jacob then started to bargain with his brother. And Esau despised his birthright, and just like that, it went to his brother Jacob. So you know the rest of the story. Jacob and his mother planned to trick the father Isaac into thinking Jacob was Esau, and their scheme worked. The father asked for the son that hunted to prepare him a meal, and yet Jacob prepared the meal to his father's surprise. And when he quizzed about this, Jacob told his father that he did this because of the Lord's success. And in chapter 27:35, Esau comes in and tells his father what his brother has done, and says, your brother came deceitfully and took your blessing. And guess what? Jacob was blessed anyway. So what caused this contented young man to see and desire what his brother had? Jacob was the son of the same father, and he didn't want to be second. He wanted to be first to receive what was coming to the elder. But instead of trusting that his father had blessings for him as well, he decided to take the blessings from his brother as he became discontented with what he had and wanted what was another's. Remember the New Testament where the followers of Jesus were also showing discontent? They were discussing who was the greatest among them, and they were discontent with the truth that Jesus had called them and they belonged to him, but they wanted to be called great on top of that belonging. So isn't that the root of our discontent so often? Either we want to be first or the best, or we want what someone else has because we see that person is closer to the Father than we are, and they're receiving greater blessings that are due to us as well. The guys were arguing, and Jesus knew the root of the problem and placed a child near them, a little child, one that hadn't grown up to reason and observe and judge the actions of his father, but rather a little child that was content to be held by the father and trust that all was well. Jacob's contentment was short-lived, and he thought he should have what his brother was getting. The disciples hadn't gotten Jesus' message at all, because they were striving to be first. The first gets the birthright, the best seat, the most blessings, the greatest status, and the most honor, so they thought. The redeeming part of this story is that God continued to bring these guys into a state of contentment, even though their discontent caused them to argue and lie. He continued to bless Jacob, and Jesus drew his followers even closer. So we might be in days of discontent after the most wonderful time of the year has passed, because we become dissatisfied with the way things went, who showed up or who did not, how much money we spent, or the hurt feelings caused by one that spoke rudely. It could be any number of reasons. But it's a new year, and the best thing we can do is start off to see ourselves as a little child in the presence of our Father that loves us with abandon and calls us to contentment because of that relationship. No arguments and no lies and no deceit. More next time.